Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a molecule that gets a really bad rap, cholesterol.
Yeah, definitely. Most people just hear cholesterol and think, bad.
Exactly. The bad guy in your blood test results,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Something you just need to lower.
Mhm.
But what if we told you it's actually, well, essential for survival? And not only that, it's incredibly smart. It performs all these diverse jobs and even regulates itself.
That's right. And going beyond those, surface level ideas really gives you a much fuller picture. It changes how you think about it, really.
Totally. So our goal today is to give you those aha moments. We're going to pull out the key insights from the research
Yeah.
so you feel really well informed about this honestly crucial molecule. We'll unpack its basic jobs in the cell, look at how it's made this intricate pathway, and then how it manages its own production. It's amazing stuff.
It really is.
Okay, so let's unpack this. When we talk about cholesterol, what are its absolute, non-negotiable jobs in our cells? What's it really doing?
Well, the first big one is making bile acids and bile salts.
Okay, bile acids.
Yeah, think of them like your body's own detergent. They're absolutely critical for emulsifying fats from your diet.
Breaking them down.
Exactly. Breaking down those fats so you can actually digest them and absorb the nutrients. Without cholesterol to make bile acids, that whole process just doesn't work properly.
Wow, okay. So step one, digestion. What else?
Then it's also essential for building cell membranes. And importantly, for maintaining the right fluidity of those membranes.
Fluidity. What does that mean for a cell?
It means the membrane isn't too rigid or too flocky. Cholesterol fits in there and acts kind of like a scaffold, but a flexible one. It helps the cell keep its shape, but also lets things move around and allows the cell to interact with its environment.
So it's building the walls of the city, so to speak, and making sure they're the right consistency.
You could put it that way, yeah.
Okay, that's already huge. Building blocks and digestion help. Are there other roles that might surprise people?
Absolutely. Cholesterol is the direct starting point, the precursor for making vitamin D.
Really? The sunshine vitamin?
That's the one. Your body makes it using cholesterol as the base material when your skin gets sunlight.
I had no idea. It started with cholesterol. Okay, what else?
And this is a really broad one. Cholesterol is the precursor for all steroid hormones. Every single one. We're talking things like cortisol for stress response, androgens like testosterone, estrogens. All essential hormones start as cholesterol.
That's incredible. So digestion, cell structure, vitamin D, and all these vital hormones.
Exactly.
So what this really means for you, listening, is that your body doesn't just tolerate cholesterol. It absolutely needs it to function on so many fundamental levels. It's not the villain we often think it is.
Not at all. It's fundamental.
Okay, so knowing it's that vital, how does the body actually make it? You mentioned it's a complex process.
Oh, it really is. And what's important to grasp first is that the way we make cholesterol is completely different from how we make fatty acids. It's its own unique pathway.
A separate factory line, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And it happens in roughly 3 main stages.
Yeah.
But the first stage, that's really the key one, the most important.
Okay, why? What makes stage 1 so critical?
Because that's where the main control switch is. It contains a rate-limiting enzyme called HMG CoA reductase.
HMG CoA reductase.
Okay, that's the bottleneck for the whole production line. And this enzyme is very tightly regulated. Hormones control it, and importantly, the amount of cholesterol already inside the cell controls it too.
Ah, so the cell keeps tabs on how much it has.
Precisely. After that first stage, it's like a molecular assembly line. You start with building blocks made from something called mevalonic acid. These are called isopentyl pyrophosphate.
Okay.
And they get added together step by step, building up until you form a bigger molecule called squalene.
Squalene.
Right?
Okay.
Then that squalene gets folded up, cyclized, and tweaked a bit more to finally become cholesterol. It's quite an elegant process, chemically speaking.
It sounds incredibly intricate, all those steps. Where does the initial raw material come from? What's the very first ingredient off the shelf?
That's a great question. The basic building block, it's a molecule called acetyl-CoA. It's a really common currency in the cell's energy metabolism.
Okay, so it's not some exotic ingredient.
No, not at all. It's actually produced in the cytoplasm when another molecule, citrate, is broken down by an enzyme called ATP citrate lyase. So the cell just pulls it from its general supply pool, essentially.
That is fascinating. So the body is constantly running this complex factory. How does it know when to slow down or stop? Does cholesterol itself, signal back to the factory floor?
That's exactly what's so cool about it.
Yeah.
Cholesterol is probably the most important regulator of its own synthesis. It mainly does this by controlling that key enzyme we talked about, HMG CoA reductase.
Right, the bottleneck.
Yeah, and it controls it in at least 3 different ways.
3 ways, okay.
First, it acts as a direct feedback inhibitor. So when cholesterol levels rise, the cholesterol molecule itself can actually bind to the HMG CoA reductase enzyme and just slow it down directly, like putting a brake on it.
Simple feedback makes sense. What's the second way?
Second, it can change the gene expression for the enzyme, meaning it can tell the cell's DNA to make less of the HMG CoA reductase enzyme overall. Or if cholesterol is low, it can signal to make more of the enzyme. So it's controlling the number of factory workers, not just their speed.
Ah, okay. A longer-term control.
Exactly. And the third way is maybe the most direct or even aggressive, you could say.
Oh.
High cholesterol levels actually promote the destruction of the HMG CoA reductase enzyme itself. It triggers a process where the enzyme gets tagged for disposal and broken down by the cell's recycling machinery, the proteasome.
Wow. So it doesn't just slow it down or make less of it, it actively gets rid of the existing enzyme.
Precisely. It's like telling the worker to just pack up and leave immediately. A very effective way to shut down production quickly when it's not needed.
So it's not just one switch, is it? It's this multi-layered, really sophisticated system. You've got immediate braking, control over how many workers there are, and then actively removing workers.
Yeah, it's incredibly well tuned.
This complex self-regulation, it's not just, a biochemical detail. It really shows how our bodies maintain this incredibly fine balance, doesn't it? This internal dance that we're, frankly, often messing with without fully understanding the downstream effects.
That's a very good way to put it. The complexity is often underappreciated.
Okay, so let's quickly recap what we've dug into today. First, cholesterol. Far from a villain, it's absolutely essential. We need it for digestion via bile acids, for strong yet flexible cell membranes, for making vitamin D, and as the starting point for all our vital steroid hormones.
Couldn't function without it.
Then we saw how it's made this complex multi-stage process, completely separate from fat synthesis, with that key enzyme, HMG CoA reductase, acting as the main control point.
That rate-limiting step, yeah.
And finally, the really amazing part, how cholesterol itself controls its own production through 3 distinct mechanisms: direct feedback, changing gene expression, and even triggering the enzyme's destruction.
A remarkable example of biological self-regulation.
So if we kind of zoom out, what this deep dive really highlights is how our bodies are constantly managing this complex equilibrium, right? Even molecules we think are simple, like cholesterol, are playing these incredibly sophisticated self-regulating roles.
Absolutely. It speaks to the elegance and the precision of our internal biology. It's far more intricate than we usually give it credit for.
It really is, and that makes you wonder, doesn't it? Knowing cholesterol is this vital, this ingeniously self-regulating molecule, what other supposed villains in our biology might be just misunderstood? And what other hidden complexities are humming away inside us right now that we haven't even begun to appreciate?
There's always more to learn.
Definitely something to think about. We hope this deep dive gives you a new perspective and encourages you to keep exploring your own health and the amazing biology of the human body.